Hello, you beautiful water signs. I hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for joining me for another group reading. And if you are Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, this one is for you because this is the water signs reading. Now, if you haven't joined me for a group reading yet, please understand not all messages are going to resonate. So please take the messages that jive with you and don't take what doesn't make sense for you, okay? If you need a private reading, check me out at my website, kellyfergusonreadings.com. And if you like this reading, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to do readings for all of you. Now, what I think that we should do for all of you guys is some beautiful spirit animal messages, okay? We haven't done that in a little while. So I think that we need to connect to the spirit animal that either has the strongest message for you or the spirit animal that is really at your side helping you right now. Water signs, please. Spirit animal. Spirit animal messages for our water signs. Who's here for our water signs? Wow, cards are already jumping already. Okay. Water signs, please. Who's coming forward for the water signs? Here. Wow, okay. Dragonfly. This is a big one, water signs, okay? So dragonfly energy is really one of evolution and positive change and transformation. Very similar to butterfly energy. But dragonfly differs in the way of it's not quite as airy-fairy. The energy is a little bit heavier, and what it speaks to really is looking inwards and looking at what needs to be changed within yourself. Dragonfly, in terms of our shamanic practices, is also the one who brings light into the darkness. So think where you might know where I'm coming from here. Now, and what it says here as well, which is a really beautiful message, it says, you know who you really are. So it is a card about introspection and inner work. Big time, my water friends, okay? Let's pull another card from the Angels and Ancestors deck and see if there's anything else that complements this. Yes, 100%. The High Priestess. This is a big one, water signs, okay? When the High Priestess comes out, we're talking about aligning with the light, making changes in your best good, going with what feels right for you. It's also about using your intuition for direction and priority, not just for fooling around, but to really look inwards and see, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? Where do I need to go in my best good? Align with the light and focus on the positive, my water signs. Okay, so some of you water signs might be challenged right now, and some of you might be feeling a little heavy. Certainly with the dragonfly coming out, who brings light into the darkness, and being told by our angels and ancestors to focus on the light. So my water signs, I'm sorry if things are a little bit heavy for you right now, okay? But let's take a look more closely and see what's going on for you and maybe how we can help. What's the main situation happening for our water signs here? Water signs, please. What's the main message here? What's the main situation? There we go. Wolf and instinct, that's you, water signs. So and this is a card that would make me feel heavy in some ways. This is also a card that makes me feel that either you're not connecting with your pack, or you feel like you're either out in the cold, or you feel like you're kind of going this chapter alone. So and as a result, certainly with the High Priestess showing up, now you have to rely on your instincts, because either there's a lack of communication going on, or you have decided to leave a situation that isn't working out for you. Either way, you're going on this next chapter alone, some of you water signs, and therefore you're trying to look at, what do I have in my own personal toolkit in order to help me move forward, okay? So what's in the way? What's the biggest barrier right now for our wolf and instinct energy? Isn't it interesting that I asked for spirit guide messages and the wolf comes out for you anyways? Okay, yikes, water signs. Okay, so you know I'm an honest reader in terms of where I come from. Now, in terms of what is blocking this situation, two cards came out. I have New Moon and Promise, and I also have Tsunami and Wake Up Call. So what this would tell me, if I'm getting really specific, this is maybe a message that isn't going to be for everybody, but you know how I said this is a card that makes me feel that you're going this one alone? I don't know if some of you have either had a breakup or left a job or a company that isn't working well for you anymore, but this does give me the flavor that tells me you thought there was either a partnership that was going to work out, or that a business partnership that was going to work out, and either you were feeling like if this was hitting your self-esteem, or you weren't really feeling comfortable in this relationship. And also Tsunami and Wake Up Call. This can represent sudden and dramatic changes that happen that you weren't expected, and then suddenly you go in a different direction, okay? Again, another card that's making me feel heavy. There's lots of water showing up here as well, so it's telling me that you are being impacted emotionally by this, water signs. I can absolutely understand how this would feel, all right? But, you know, with this new moon and calm is showing up. It is, like I said, I touched on tugging on some self-esteem issues. So just like with this dragonfly of know who you really are, this is also asking you to ask yourself, how did you feel in this relationship? What are the things that you possibly needed to change yourself? Were there things that were heavy that maybe you weren't looking at? Hard to say, okay? So foundations here. Some foundations. What should my water signs be focused on right now? Look at that. Okay. So autumn equinox and release. So this is what you need to be doing right now. Absolutely. Just like the dragonfly. Positive change and transformation. Let go of the things that aren't working. But for you to do that, you have to be able to go inwards first. If you're going to purge something, you have to figure out, what do I still have hanging on that I haven't dealt with? Dragonfly. Bring light into the darkness, my friends. Okay. Now, what else for our water signs? Whoa. Cave and sanctuary in the past. So certainly this could be very face value in terms of COVID and having to stay to yourself, etc. But what I feel like this means for you, specifically water signs, is that perhaps for some time, maybe before this situation, maybe you kind of felt like you were by yourself for some time. Maybe you weren't opening up to relationships. Who knows, whatever that reason is for you, water signs. But this is making me feel that in the past, you were dealing with just you. Perhaps you were the one calling the shots, and you felt safe in this regard, okay? But now moving forward with regards to contrast here, when you're with either another person or partnering with something else, you know, maybe this means doing business alone or doing business with people, right? You're starting to look back at this and go, okay, was it really, should I have stayed there for this long? So sometimes when you do some things by yourself, you get stuck in your own ways of doing things, and then you're not open to changes, or it's hard for you to make that transition. So this is telling me it might have been a slow go for you, water signs. Oh, wow. This is beautiful in terms of where to put your focus. This is the exact same card that showed up for the fire signs in this exact same position. Dance and celebration. So what this card tells you is not everything is doom and gloom. Even though there might have been some things that weren't working out or some dramatic things that happened lately with you, what this is saying is don't forget to celebrate your successes. You have come a long way from where you used to be. So instead of looking at how did this not work out for me, look at what are my successes that I can put under my belt and build on them to move forward. That's what you should be looking at, water signs. So if we do that, if we buck up, if we put our chin up and decide to move forward, remembering that we're evolving as we go, what are we going to walk into? What type of energies are we going to invite our way for water signs? This one, is this it? Okay, winter solstice and reflection. I think more introspection is coming your way, water signs. More water. Winter solstice. So what this is definitely saying, friends, you have to look inwards big time. This also is telling me that now not for everybody, but possibly some of you may not be looking at the emotions that you need to digest and pull out, okay? Because if you think about this card here, the water is not moving, it is frozen, and water represents emotions. So this could tell me that perhaps you're a little rigid in terms of looking at the emotional stuff going on within you, and whether or not you're willing to look at it in a different way and crack through those barriers to get forward, okay? You've already been doing some good things, water signs. Don't be afraid to keep going and keep digging and seeing whatever stuff you can bring up, because the stuff that you bring up you can ultimately transmute and turn into something positive for yourself. What is the big message coming down the line for our water signs here? Dawn and new beginnings. Look at that, flips right up on my hand. So my water signs, have faith. Changes are absolutely coming, and it is just around the corner. But I strongly suggest for you water signs, there is stuff all over the plate here that's saying more introspection is required, more inner work is required. So please, water signs, don't miss the boat, because good things are coming, but you have to dig deep and get rid of some of the heavy stuff before you move forward to the light. Just like you were told here. Bring light into the darkness and focus on positivity, and then you will move in a positive direction. Water signs, I hope these messages are helpful for you and give you faith so that you can continue on your path. If you need a private reading, please don't forget to contact me at my website, kellyfergusonreadings.com. And if you like this reading, please give me a like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to do readings for all of you. See you next week, friends.